No would be the flat option. Because shape,
What do you mean no?
like I'm going to ask you a yes
It's
or no question. What's Earth's shape?
okay.
Yes or no?
Shape? Yes or no? How does that work?
SHAPE.
Yeah, the answer to a question, what is Earth's shape, is not a yes or no. Do you appreciate that?
But if
I'll tell you this though, because this is a matter that even proclaimed flat earthers have fought other flat earthers upon, is the idea of the orientation, like the definition of flat and level, right? Flat and level are synonymous in a certain aspect. Okay, there are two aspects when you say flat. You can be describing an orientation or a surface, like a surface description. Something is flat. That could be the orientation or the smoothness of the surface. Okay, these are two contexts, and people kind of get mixed up in that and argue when someone is talking about a surface orientation and the other is talking about the smoothness, and they get lost in the whole conversation. They're talking over each other. But you got to understand there are two ways of using the word. Flat. Flat could be talking about orientation or surface description, right? I could say this table,
Did you get all that?
yeah, this
I
table
get
is
the
level.
orientation part.
Okay, so when
Are
I
you
say this
like
table is
you would
level,
rotisserie?
Because I don't know why the Orient or
okay,
like Indians have
I'll tell
anything to
you.
do with their shape.
Yeah, I'll explain it to you. So when I say this table is level, what do you understand?
I'll say plateau or mesa in Espanol.
So table is level. What does that mean? In English, preferably. What does that mean to you?
It's polished, smooth.
Okay, thank you. So you're talking about the surface characteristic of the object, not the orientation. Correct?
Yeah, because you don't have the leaf in the table yet, and it's not
There's no
Thanksgiving.
belief involved in anything. This is language. This is how we use language. We have synonyms. We have definitions. So flat is used in contexts, in different contexts. Okay, I described two of them. One that describes orientation, and another which describes surface
Okay.
characteristics.
So like, hey,
These are
your
two
girlfriend's
different contexts.
flat, but she's standing up right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Sure, I'll go with that. So you understand where I'm coming from.
What do you think? Like our little, it's like dish shaped, all the planets lined up, and like Alex Jones will say, "Oh, the moon's not flat." Like we haven't been there. They're just twinkling, wandering stars in the night that we call someone else's sun, or the other ones that stay on track.
Well, I'm not really concerned with like people's positions of what they believe or whatever. It's about facts, right? I I don't care what you believe. I care about what you can prove. Would you think that's fair?
Say that again.
I said I care
Fair.
not what you believe, but what you can prove. Do you think
Facts
that's
are
fair?
We agree. Facts are fair. We like facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you become a flat earther when you
Fire's hot.
prove the globe.
Fire's hot, man. I checked it out.
Yep. And Earth is flat. I checked it out.
Me too.
You understand what I mean?
Yep.
I live in the Valley of the Sun, so
We have mountains and
all around.
valleys,
Yeah.
and it's flat because people get caught up on that. They say, "Well,
I live
shit,
in the-
you have mountains and valleys. How can it be flat?"
I go south and I'm going downhill. I
That's a
go
bad
north,
argument, man. That's a
going
really
up.
Yeah, I'm talking about orientation versus
that's really bad.
surface characteristics. That's what I'm talking about, right? The word can be used in different contexts, and I'm explaining the context in which I'm using the word. So I abolish all misunderstandings. It's not about what you think or could be. I'm definitely telling you what I mean when I use the word. I'm talking about orientation. I'm saying flat is level, which is synonymous in any fucking dictionary you pick up. I'm talking
Cheers.
about orientation.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
Good night, y'all. Nice speaking to you all.
All right, man.
Until next
Get some
time.
rest, bro.
Right.
Thanks for answering my
Like-
series of questions.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Take care, man. What's
Quick,
up,
someone bring up a topic that's not a board.
Shoot. I figured out my golf game sucks because I didn't bring my compass and I couldn't figure out the Coriolis. I was fucking pissed.
Coriolis with the compass. What?
Well, you got to know which direction to hit the ball. You got to
Well,
know.
I
If it's
had
south,
the same
north.
thing.
Oh, I get it.
Fucking pisses me off when I don't get it right. Damn it. Fuck.
I was accounting my compass for being in the southern hemisphere, and I was
Well, you got to bring the
northern.
compass and go, hey, man. Oh shit, I'm hitting this dead south, man. I gotta fucking hook this bad boy. Come on.
Why don't you get one of them Coriolis drivers? It's got like a little click driver. You just click the Coriolis effect depending on which way you're facing.
Coriolis insurance last year. Coriolis insurance.
Now remember, if you're putting east to west along the longitude,
Right.
that
It's not putting, driving. It's mostly the driving. The putting's not too bad because it's kind of short, but my long ass drives, I'm bombing it,
how many birdies have you gotten par
I don't know.
four?
Hundreds, man. Are you kidding me?
I got one, and I remember that day. And I was excited.
Yeah.
I would have a beer a hole. We'd only play at night.
Oh shit. I don't usually. I might have one at the 9th hole. I usually don't drink when I'm golfing, but it's
Yeah, I haven't been drunk or had a hangover in
no.
12 years, so I'm blessed for that.
That's fantastic, man. Good on you. Good on you.
Alcohol's a drug, and it took me a while to I'm like, really? Are you sure it's a drug, man? Drugs sound so bad.
It's horrible. Alcohol's been around for thousands of years, and it has a place and a time. With good meal, good friends, couple drinks. It can make and break your mood, man. Relax. It's definitely takes the stress off, no doubt about it, man. 100%. So there's something to it. Otherwise, it wouldn't still be here. I think they would have gotten rid of it. There wasn't some benefit to it. Now, some people abuse the shit
get rid of all
out
the
it.
things that don't have benefits.
Yeah, I mean, running. You can, deep breathing. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do in life, but
Well, no, you just said if there must be some benefit to it, or we would have gotten rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, it works.
But obviously, there's lots of things that are still around that are not beneficial, right? Like I don't know,
but
meth.
Keeping your wife from bitching and raising kids in prison.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a builder, I use math to build shit. It's
No,
helpful.
I said meth. You know, methamphetamine.
Oh, math. No, math's not good.
Yeah.
No.
Not
You
good,
asked me
but
that.
it's
Hey,
still
man.
around. Is my point, right? Like
Oh, fuck.
you're like, if
tell you.
there wasn't some good to it, we would have got rid of it. Well,
You can't
clearly
just
that's
buy-
not.
You can't just go to the corner. Well, maybe where you live, you might go to the corner, but you can't go to the store and buy it. And here's
Corn is a
meth
great place
everywhere.
for it, actually.
There's no fucking meth
Well, you definitely
store,
can't go to
bro.
the store.
Go to the pharmacy for it and get some Adderall.
That's true. That's true.
It's loaded with meth.
Fucking
you go.
Adderall. Is Adderall different? I've never
Not
tasted
really.
it.
No.
Is it not? Is it the same thing? What's going on with Adderall, man?
That shit will
What's going
jack
on
you
with-
up
What's
if you
going
don't
on
need
with
it.
the shape of the Earth?
Well, fuck. That's pretty easy to figure out, but Adderall's a totally different
No,
thing. I
you're
don't
right.
know.
Actually, it's pretty easy. We got all these pictures of it. You know.
Well, we live
We
on
do
Earth.
not
We can check out.
condone the use of any drugs
I mean, I
at
could
Earth
check out.
Awakening.
I could check out meth, if I had, but I'm not.
Hey, I'm a builder. I use meth. No, I do not smoke meth. Okay, guys, I'm gonna say it a sec. Please, everyone. I do not smoke meth. I snort it.
We do live on
Wow.
Earth. I just saw this really cool picture. I just put it in the side chat there.
What's that
Beautiful,
picture?
man. Earth?
Well, have you ever seen that picture with your own two eyes?
I just did.
Look at it right now. What are you talking about?
I mean, actually, you know what I'm talking about. Don't be a dick.
No, I don't.
Have I ever seen that picture? I have, bro.
What are you
Have you
talking
ever
about?
seen that fucking thing you're looking at, that round thing, with your own two eyeballs?
Well, I've never seen a bacteria with my own two eyeballs either. It's not a great standard.
You have. Come on, you looked at
You're
microscope.
covered in bacteria.
I know.
You
I've
can
never
see-
seen them.
Whatever.
Yeah, I've never
You
seen
know my
bacteria
point. Yeah, it's just
No,
a card-
I don't know your point. What is your point?
No one's ever seen a virus.
Nobody
There
has,
you go.
actually.
There you go.
That's CGR.
Viruses, man. I don't think they're real, but that's just
You don't
me.
think viruses are real?
Mm-mm.
That's an
You've never
incredible
had a
thing to say
cold?
out loud.
Sure, I've had a cold. That's
What do you think caused the cold?
my body is. I forgot. I can't remember how to put this. It's been like 4 years. But my body's getting rid of some waste, man. Is what's going on with the cold. I get it. It's
Yeah.
Your body is getting rid of waste. So do you think if somebody else's body is getting rid of waste and they come in close contact with you, that makes
Not-
your body get
not going to catch anything. No,
really?
You don't think that
No.
colds are contagious?
I don't.
That is.
Have you
impressive.
gotten a cold without having been in contact with the person who doesn't have a cold?
No,
So you just got
I've never.
sick out of the blue?
Out of the blue, man. Out of fucking nowhere, man. I'm like,
Where do you live?
I live in Southern California, United States.
With like 40 million people around you,
39 million.
right? So when you say you've gotten a cold
Thank
without
you
having
for the
been in
correction.
contact with
I
any
don't wa-
other
I don't
people,
wash my hands. I don't. I touch
No,
my
no, no.
face all the time.
The question was more stated in like no one was sick around you, and then you got a cold.
but how would you know?
I didn't need you to go out and isolate yourself for 60 days or whatnot to test the theory.
But
Yeah.
I was so today I've been in contact with like 200 people.
Mm-hmm.
how would I
You're a
know?
dirty boy. I don't know. What do you want me to do about it?
Well, how would I know if any of those people were sick? I mean, that's a really strange question.
Well, some
Were they
people have a
exhibiting
really
symptoms?
high immune system.
I don't know. I didn't check
Well, how do
each
you
individual person.
you believe in immune systems?
All right, I got another serious question to ask the room. Who here went through the TSA last and had the down?
I believe we
Never.
were talking about the shape of the Earth.
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh, Earth shape. It's an oblate spheroid.
I thought we were talking.
So everyone say with me now. Oblate spheroid, like asteroid.
I think it's a topographical plane, man. There you go.
Have you
If
ever heard of
we're on-
rotisserie Earth?
Heard of what?
Rotisserie Earth?
Rotisserie Earth. What's
Rotisserie Earth.
that?
Yeah,
What's rotisserie Earth?
Rotisserie.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really hot on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And then you got this thing that's in the sky, and it's really hot for 50% of the time in the sky.
right.
So your globe is like just like this, it's like just heating plates on either side, and you're just cooking that chicken, basically.
I like it.
Well, the this topographical plane idea
Now I'm
is just
hungry.
a little hard for me to accept. You know, it's I
Go
find
to
it
You don't need to
beach,
accept anything, man.
You got to go to the
in my
beach.
head.
You can see it.
I have all
Kind of
these
like the
questions,
moon
right?
landings.
You know, like things don't seem to make sense with that idea, right? Like why is there this pressure gradient in the atmosphere? Can't get my head around it.
That's weird.
Why is this stuff? Why is there stuff at all, man?
Because you have a container. Why wouldn't there be a pressure gradient? Are you going
That's
to
good.
claim like a
Realm.
vacuum? Being next to a vacuum is going to create the gradient?
It
Or you're
would,
gonna
yeah.
you're gonna claim gravity and then not be able to prove gas has a downward bias?
Black
Well,
hole.
hold on. You don't think gas has a downward bias?
It does not prove it. Go ahead, show me.
Yeah.
Well, why does air
No,
have
no.
weight, bro?
Just go ahead. If you're gonna say it does, just prove it before we get started, because it's gonna be a complete waste of my time. I've
Right, if
already
you take a
tried to
scuba tank
find it.
and you fill it up, it gets heavier.
Okay, so if you influence the gas,
compress it.
you can give it a downward bias. Is that what you're saying? You have to show me gas with a downward bias without influencing it.
Without
To
be
influencing
downward.
it. What do you mean by that?
Because that's what
Scuba tank.
gravity's doing. It should be
A
easy.
scuba
You
tank-
should be able to go get a cup of atmosphere and show me the downward bias.
I like this.
Yeah,
But you can't,
well,
can you? It's weird.
Like I've got a scuba tank outside. It's funny he mentioned scuba tank because I've got a scuba tank outside and it weighs 5 kilos heavier.
Cool. Compressed
Weighs
gas
full.
weighs. Yeah. And then it
But-
turns into liquids and shit. Yeah, cool. What does
Well,
that have to
scuba
do with the
tank is not
atmosphere, though?
liquid.
It doesn't
What
turn
What does
to
that have to
liquid.
do with downward bias on gas in the
Because
atmosphere?
if
That's
the
the
gas
only
is
way to
moving,
explain it being heavier.
No,
the
no, no.
gas is
Just
moving all
demonstrate it. You don't have to
directions.
explain anything. I don't need to understand it. I just need to see it. You
Is
need
there
to
any
prove
Irony.
it.
It's in a
Scuba tank?
container.
The scuba tank is heavier, full. That is it demonstrated.
Yeah. So we're talking about the atmosphere, right?
Yeah, it's full of atmosphere.
And you're talking about a scuba tank. So
And
let's
the
just say,
pressure
let's
gauge,
get
the pressure
back on
gauge on
track.
tanks is always at the top, which means that the force is going upwards, not downwards. So how would you explain that?
No,
Nothing to do with the
pre-
pressure gauge.
Good one.
The pressure gauge is actually not on the top. There is no pressure gauge on the top of a scuba tank. Let's just make that clear.
Well, the hose that comes out of the top of the scuba tank, and then you got the gauge is like right
That's
next to
because,
you.
because it would be very difficult to fill if the hose was on the bottom.
But you just said.
That's
Anyway,
just-
this wasn't about the pressure. The pressure gauge is completely irrelevant, right? We're talking about putting the scuba tank on a scale, right? Gets
No, we're
heavier.
not.
What did you
We're
say,
talking
Rick? How
about
much
a
heavier?
downward bias.
We are exactly, which is why it's
Okay, now
heavier.
prove it. Prove a downward
Yeah,
bias.
it's
in
literally
gas.
just been proven.
It's just proven.
Using a container.
Influencing it, right? And now you got a container. So
There's no fluids.
what the fuck is your atmosphere in?
Does,
the
does the
atmosphere-
atmosphere have a
So
physical container barrier then?
No.
You need to show gas in a container to prove your point, and then you're gonna claim there's no container for the atmosphere. How does that
No,
work?
your question,
Correct.
That is
your
kind of weird.
question was not about containment. Your question.
No.
was
My
about
question was
downward-
stupid.
No,
It was just stupid to
know it was
lure you into answering
I
it. So you
definitely
make a
agree with that
fucking
part.
you contradict yourself. That's
I
all it
definitely agree
was.
with that part. But let me answer it since you asked it. Your question was whether gas has a downward bias. Now,
Yeah.
there is no possible way that a scuba tank can weigh more if gas does not have a downward bias.
That's
The
false.
gas does have a downward bias. No, it's
I think
not.
he's got you here, man. I'm sorry. Rick's got you.
Gas has
Yeah.
a downward bias. It is demonstrable by weighing air from an atmosphere in a scuba tank.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Yes, it is. Saying that's not how it works, and then walking
No,
away
that's not how a scuba
does not
tank
make
works.
it not true. Yes, it does.
No, you don't take the atmosphere and put it into a scuba tank. That's not how
You're
it works.
Yes, you do.
incorrect. That's exactly what you do.
That's exactly what you do. I do it. I have a compressor.
I'm pretty
I
sure
fill my
you're
own scuba
right
tanks.
about that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right about that, man.
I have my own scuba compressor, and I
Yeah,
fill
you
my
set
tanks.
you set a proper mixture, right?
No.
No,
And
no,
then you
no.
fill it.
Listen to me. I fill scuba tanks. I own a scuba tank compressor. I do this. Listen to me.
I know
I
you
pump
do.
air
Yes, and you
from
regulate
outside
it,
my
right?
house. No.
You have regulators.
No. Regulators are a different thing. Just listen. I
You
pump
just take air from the
outside.
atmosphere, compress
Yes.
it, and throw it in there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's all you do. That's all you do, man. He's
You don't
right.
regulate it.
Well, he
I
regulates.
don't think that
how
word
much
means what you think it
goes in.
means, but no.
We have regulators in scuba diving, but it does not mean what you think it means.
No, you don't regulate like the
You
gases.
do not change when you fill a scuba
No.
tank. You do not change the composition of the atmosphere. You take atmospheric air and you compress it and you put it in the tank.
I love it.
That's all.
Hey, thanks for pointing
That's
that
cool.
out, man. That's really cool because you know.
And when you do that with a lot of atmosphere, the scuba tank starts to weigh heavier. So clearly,
Right.
the atmosphere
Nice,
has weight.
nice. So once you put it in a container,
Right. Right.
Once you put it in a container, there's a downward bias. Is that what you're saying?
There's always a downward bias. But container lets you put a lot of it together to see it.
Oh, now how do you do it outside of a container? How do you create
Oh,
that
I see.
downward
So,
bias?
so you just have no explanation for why a scuba tank weighs more. Is that it? We're just moving
So
on
he
here.
doesn't want to answer the question. He
But
knows
your
that.
scuba tank,
No.
dude, I'm just playing dumb. Because your
I
scuba
think
tank
you're
You are,
example
you are an excellent actor.
explains. Thank you. Explains like the whole argument. You're saying with a container, I could prove a downward bias, but without a
Yes.
container, I don't want to talk about it.
Right?
No, we're happy to talk about the lack of a container if you want. I'm happy to talk about that as well.
No,
But
let's
your
not.
original
Let's
question.
not talk about
Your
that.
original
Oh my
question.
goodness!
Talk about something else, man. Hey,
I can
has
see why
anybody
you
had
may
a
want to talk about it.
hole in one ever? A golfer hole in one?
Golf?
Anybody?
No,
Anybody?
let's not talk about golf. Golf's boring. Golf is the best way to ruin a perfectly good walk.
Well, shit. No, it ain't. That's a fucking misnomer, man. Because you
You know,
can't
if
golf.
it's able to be a hole in one, just
Yeah.
a fucking hole in one.
I like you guys rescuing this guy from his scuba tank ignorance. This is good.
It's not a
Yeah.
rescue. It's not a rescue.
Right.
But you
Kinda
prove
feels
a
like a
downward
rescue.
bias with a container, right?
I just want to talk about some. I don't want to talk
What's
about
the
this.
problem?
You know,
gas shit
the
again.
ball has a container and it's the hole. If you can get it there in one shot, is
Right.
that not gravity doing its
just-
fucking thing?
Just to put this
Right?
to rest, right?
That's a
Your
little gravity
contention here is
well.
that,
That's it,
is that the
man. That's
gas
it.
is
You're right.
behaving in a fundamentally different manner in the scuba tank than it is outside the scuba tank. Is that what you're saying?
No.
No,
It's
I'm saying
not.
you
Kinda
don't
sounds like
see
that's what
the
you're saying.
similarity.
Well,
They
gas
both. There's
pressure
two
outside,
containers
man.
here.
We have
There's
gas
one
pressure
container.
outside. We checked it out. We have
There's
gas
one
pressure
container.
outside. Right?
Okay.
Right.
Do you think that the gas has a downward vector in the scuba tank?
I do, because it's liquefied. It's heavier.
It's not.
No, it's not.
That's not true.
It's not liquefied.
It's not liquefied? It's
No.
just
At
pressure.
50 bar. No, not even close.
All right, what the fuck is it then, man? Mongo?
It's air, bro.
Just air, bro.
Slightly
Air.
denser.
You compressed air in a tank. I
Yeah.
get it, man. I fucking own a compressor. Fucking thing's loud as fuck too, man. Damn thing's loud.
That's excellent. So I asked my question
got-
again. Do you think that air has a downward vector when it's in a scuba tank?
I said yes.
Okay, so you're saying then that you think that air behaves in a fundamentally different way when it's inside a scuba tank than when it's outside.
Well,
No, that's exactly the opposite of what we're saying. Well, I'm saying. I'm
So
saying
what-
there's a
okay, well-
container for the atmosphere in the tank. You fucking
Just hold on.
donkey.
If you don't think it has a downward vector outside the scuba tank,
you don't have to
you
call
do
names.
think it has a downward vector inside the
Oh, my
scuba
bad.
tank.
I tease you
Kind
guys.
of sounds
I tell
like you're saying it
Mongo.
behaves in a different way whether or not it's in the scuba tank, which is a very interesting position to take.
Yeah, well, it is a position. You know what the
It
heck.
certainly is a position. I'll give you that.
You know,
Oh, that's probably the truest thing about that statement. It is a position.
it's a position.
Well, the
It
thing
might-
is, in
might
our
not be
position,
right,
it's coming
might
from
not be
one
wrong,
container and
but
putting
it-
it into another container. Because in the
So why
flat
would it behave differently?
Earth, with the biblical flat Earth cosmology, there's a dome, right? And then you're just transferring it from one container, putting it into another container, and pressurizing it. So that's
There you go.
Uh-huh.
That
Why
makes
does it
sense.
behave
That's
differently?
fine. So
That
why
makes
does it behave
sense.
differently?
That makes sense to me. I don't know. Just makes sense.
I mean, that's fine. If you're saying you're taking it from one container and putting it in another container,
yeah.
why does it behave differently in the second container to the first container?
What do you?
Well, flat Earth dude does agree that it has a downward gradient inside, but what do you say? Not outside, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the most tanks I've filled up in my life are propane tanks, and I know when I go and take it down there, and I fucking thing's really light, and I say, "Hey, man, hook me up, bro." And they charge me $27, and they like fucking thing's heavy as fuck, man, and it's gas.
Well, propane's actually liquid.
It's
It's a little
fucking-
Propane's
different.
liquid in a tank, right? Yeah.
Fucking heavy, man. It's
But
the
we're talking about
LPG,
scuba tanks,
L.
which
Right,
are
well,
not
I'm not-
liquid.
I get that hip on scuba tanks, man, but you just
Well, it's fine. I
compressed
mean,
and
it's a
shit.
relatively simple sort
Okay,
of statement, right?
so-
The idea here is
So
you take
let
a
me
scuba
Let
tank.
me ask you guys, man.
Go
When
ahead,
you
yeah,
pump,
go
when you guys pump all the air into your, you say it weighs 5 pounds more, right?
5 kilos.
5 kilos,
More like
whatever.
10 pounds, yeah.
10 pounds. Okay.
12, actually.
All right. 12 pounds more when it's full. So
Yeah.
that's guaranteed physics that you added air to this thing and it got heavier. Guaranteed, 100%. I agree with that. No doubt. That makes
Okay.
sense. Now, you're saying that there's no liquid in that at all? There's
Correct.
What's H? Isn't it gas? Fuck it, you know. So what's going on, man? Why is it way more, bro?
Yeah.
Tell me.
What happens when you open crack the seal?
Because gas has a downward bias. That's why it weighs more.
That's
You
it.
put
That's-
more
Okay,
gas in
so-
the tank, it weighs more.
Okay, and then what happens when you crack the seal?
I'm talking to Flat Earth Dude right now.
Yeah, it goes crack seal, man. It goes. Psst. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah,
We know
not
what
really
happens.
relevant to this question, but yes.
Yeah, but that's what happens. Anyway,
Sure.
so a bunch of air weighs some weight. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a lot of air in that fucking tank, man. To get
Yeah,
it up.
there is.
What do you guys
True.
get it up to? Like 200 psi, 300? Where are you at?
Oof. No. 3,500 psi.
3,000 psi. Fuck.
Well,
man.
how much can your hose hold? That's the
Well, it can
Yeah.
hold about
The hose is
3,500
the-
psi.
the
Actually,
hose is with
most
the
of my gear is
regulator,
rated
man.
to. Most of my gear is rated to 300 bar, but I usually only go to 250.
Okay.
now we're talking bar and PSI. We gotta.
Well, pounds is not really Australian, so I'll have to convert it for you.
Yeah, it's no
4,400
anyway. Yeah, pounds
pounds
bar.
is-
Okay.
most of my gear is rated to 4,400.
So yeah, it's really high rating. It's super heavy duty freaking hose, right? I mean, that shit's fucking solid, man. Love that
Oh,
stuff, right?
I mean, it's not as hard as you'd think it is, but yeah,
It's
it is
just solid,
expensive.
man. It's not
Yeah,
cheap.
I popped a hole in my hose because I turned the pressure up too high, but it still
Yeah.
feels like a tire for a car or bike still doing the
Right.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hoses
But
are a little
then-
bit different for scuba.
Then you have your
appliances.
regulator, which you're running at what? What's PSI on your breathing
the-
apparatus there, man? What's the PSI on that?
The regs are different. That's on the way out, not on the way in. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm just
Like
on the way out.
140 psi ish.
140.
Yeah. How long does it take to let's say if you crank it up to 3,000 psi and you take the lid off, how long does it take for it to stay there? Let's say you remove the lid. How long will it take for it to remain at 3,000 psi?
1 second, dude. It's like 1 second.
if you open the valve full way, it'll be a couple of minutes.
I'm talking about what if you just chopped off the top of it?
Well,
Fuck the
I've
valve.
never done that personally, and I highly recommend that nobody
you've
else
seen
does
it
that.
done. You've seen it done, man. You've seen those big air compressor like cannons they make.
I mean, if you do that,
Yeah,
with
I got-
a scuba tank, it kills you.
There
But
would
yeah.
lead. But the point of this question here is, right, like,
Does it go
the scuba
down?
tank weighs more. And as you said, you agreed with it, right? The scuba tank weighs more. There's really only one way to
I agree.
explain that, right?
I mean, I don't know if they're definitely you're putting a lot of weight in there, man. 10 pounds.
Let me ask a question. What
sure.
is the weight? The water in the air?
No,
Yeah,
the air itself.
That's what I like about the air is it's got water
Well,
in it.
We're all
Well,
underwater right now.
That's actually the neat thing about a scuba compressor is it removes the water from the air. Otherwise, the inside of the tanks would corrode.
All right, then it's a fucking downward vector, man, with air. Let's go, man. Let's move on to something else. I'm cool
Okay,
with it.
why does air have a downward bias?
I don't know, man. It's just heavy. It's there's something there that there's definitely a lot of stuff in there to make it heavy.
Well, really, the question from
why
there,
do I, why does I, weigh, 200 pounds?
I mean, that's kind of a philosophical
Well,
question.
just so we all remember, like this conversation started off the rip with someone asserting, in no uncertain terms, that air did not have a downward vector. So I'm glad we're past that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, no, I think you can influence it, but I don't know.
Well, what do you think? Why
I don't know,
does the
man.
scuba tank weigh more?
My question to take it to air, man, is why the fuck do the clouds float, man, in the air? I always thought that was pretty cool. Anybody can check that out. It's kind of wild, man. Looking at clouds floating. They're so cool. Clouds are cool, man. Bright clouds.
Don't disagree. Clouds are absolutely awesome. You can get whole books. There's like 70 different cloud types. They're called.
Yeah, there's a
I wish I
bunch
knew
of
them
them.
all.
My brother's a meteorologist, man. He always names the clouds. I'm like, how the fuck? Yeah, I mean, thank you for
I wish-
sharing. But yeah,
I wish
Does
I knew
your
the cloud
Not
types.
does your brother have a sexual fetish for other meteorologists?
what was that? What about the meteorologist?
They say most news weather dudes are like other news weather dudes.
I don't know about that, man. My brother's cool and everything's cool, but he was a meteorologist, 30 something years ago. But yeah,
Say meteorologist 5 times fast, and then science 5 times fast.
Anyway, I do like weather. I love different, summer, winter, fall. All that shit's cool. It all has its ups and downs, but clouds floating in the air, man, is cool, man. Yeah, those are some bitching clouds.
Well, there's another interesting thing here that we haven't really mentioned. That if we can now move on and agree that air does in fact have a downward vector, right? Then you don't require a container to explain the pressure gradient in the atmosphere. It actually just makes sense, right? So if air does have a downward vector,
that's stretching it a little bit, man. I think
not
you're
at
on
all.
the edge
This is
there,
basic
man. Yeah,
physics.
you are not. You cannot show that to me in reality, bro. There's no fucking way.
Actually, you can. You can though.
In my shop, come here right now. I got tanks. I got fucking whatever you need, man.
That's the really cool thing. You can jump on like eBay and you can
gas
buy a
pressure
barometer.
without a container, Mongo. You ain't gonna fucking do it. Don't even
listen,
start.
guys.
Don't even start.
Meteorologist, science.
Yeah, maybe one of the globe.
You only
Who's the
said
best,
science 4 times.
who's the best globe defender here right now? Because if you have the evidence, you can post it for everyone right in the room right now and stop wasting our time.
I'll walk away, man.
Post a video. Post a video of from Earth, an uncut video from Earth to far enough away, showing the globe in space.
Captain
How about
Vic.
this? What you can do is you can get a barometer from like eBay for like $20. I went and bought one, and you can go up a big hill, and you can check the pressure, and you can go down that hill, preferably in a car so it's nice and fast, and you can check the pressure again. Now I do this every day on my way to work. It's like 1,000 feet or something down this hill I drive down, and every day I can look at that and be like, wow, look how much the pressure drops. So what you're seeing is a pressure gradient, and there's no containment around that pressure. So you've got.
You're presuming.
We've been over this shit 1,000 fucking times, man. We're not. Yeah.
There's no.
Come on.
You're just driving downhill.
Do you have an uncut video of Earth from Earth to far enough away to showing the globe in space?
Taking back Eden, I actually have no interest in talking with you because you are a horrible
no
person.
answer. Okay. I didn't think so.
Let me ask El Capitano.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Do you have proof of the shell, paper thin, gravity held weld to our oblate spheroid shaped Earth? The thin layer of air, the gravity well to our molten lava covered. Do you have proof of that?
What are you asking? Sorry, do you want to repeat that question?
The gravity itself is holding the air. The air is its own container, motherfucker.
Like anyone's actually said gravity, right? We're just talking about whether or not air has weight.
The magical force that holds all of our atmosphere in here and doesn't get sucked out into space. But
it doesn't really matter about.
That's been on the table for 10 years now. And
this doesn't really matter about.
Still on the table, man. Hasn't been wiped off the table yet, man. That's all.
Well, hang on. Why would it be sucked out? Gravity. I don't think a vacuum does what you think it does.
I didn't make it up. It's not my term.
It'd be
it's
pushed out.
Physicist's fucking term.
It'd be sucked out.
Come on.
Pushed out.
Whatever. Push.
Thing is, right? Like since we've already agreed that air has weight, right? You would actually expect there to be a vacuum, right? Whether or not we're on Earth, a flat Earth, or a globe Earth, or whatever, right?
Cool, man. Just show it to me in the lab, dude.
Right?
Show me how you can do that in the lab without a container, and I'm down, man.
Well, you can definitely generate a vacuum next to gas in a lab without a container. It's called a zip-type centrifuge.
There's no way, bro. I've asked this for 10 years.
Man, you're literally asking a question. Do you want to hear the answer or not?
Go, man. Fuck. Just go.
You don't sound that interested. I don't need to talk about it. It's all right.
I would like to hear about it.
It's certainly a thing that can be done, right? I mean, people do it.
Go ahead, man. Videotape it.
If you take a centrifuge, you spin it very quickly. You can generate a system
in a container. Centrifuge is a container, bro. Come on. Hate to break it to you.
But so what? I think the confusion here is you're asking for a demonstration of something that we say takes like 100, 200, 300 kilometers, and you're saying, well, show me a demonstration done in a meter.
Holding gas, man. Gas containing gas. Bring it. What do you got?
Here's what I'm trying to say, right? So if you have this
on.
centrifuge and you fill it full of gas, usually it's uranium hexafluoride, you spin it very quickly. You generate a system where,
Superfluid
because there
helium?
is a force
Yeah.
being, hold on, I'll finish. Because there is a force being applied to this gas, right? It stratifies, and near the axis of rotation, you get very close to a perfect vacuum, and then down into the vial, you get a
Into the
progressive pressure
container.
gradient, right?
Into the
Which is
container,
exactly
yeah.
what you see on Earth, right? So this only requires
Exactly.
one sort of container, which would be the ground, right?
Yeah.
But the analogy
That's
here,
not true.
and this is the last thing that I
Yeah,
want to say about it. The
vial
analogy
is-
here is that we've agreed that air has weight, which means there's some force affecting it, and in the presence of a downward force, right? What you expect to see in any system, just from basic first principles physics, is a pressure gradient that trails off into a vacuum. And we clearly see that there's a pressure gradient. If you go up to the mountain, the pressure gets less. We clearly see that there's a downward vector that affects gas
boy.
because it has weight. Therefore, there's absolutely no reason to think that it doesn't just trail off into a vacuum. You would have to prove otherwise.
10 years I've been talking about this fucking subject, man. And I wake up yesterday and started thinking about this, man. I'm like, dear man, you still had a container in that explanation of yours, bro. It's your centrifuge and your little vial, and you're toast, man. There's still a container.
So
what you had was
no.
Just to be clear, what you had was a vacuum and pressurized gas with no container between them, and it was a stable system.
No, you had the fucking tank. You had something, man, with an open lid.
Impossible, yeah.
Seen all that
impossible.
bullshit.
Nice one, Flat Earth dude, Kenny G. Yeah, you've got to have a container, no doubt about it. Without a container, gases are going all over the place.
Hang on, no. We just showed that without a container, gases aren't going all over the place. That was just demonstrated. Do you not believe what was just explained in that respect?
Gases are omnidirectional. All gas I've seen are
and why?
omnidirectional.
Scuba tanks weigh more when they're full.
Well, it's still a tank, man.
They're
still
they're contained.
What happens to cold air?
That gas is contained. Fucking hell.
What happens to cold air?
If gas is omnidirectional, why does the full? I'm asking Jin. Why does the full scuba tank weigh more?
It's in a container.
I'm asking Jin.
No, because I think I got it. I think I figured it out.
Yeah. What about it?
Jin, you mind if I go?
I think isn't it not that when you pressurize gas, it turns into a liquid and then it gets heavier?
It's
and
not that.
Scuba tanks, there's not liquid inside scuba tanks. Just
they're saying
compressed
it's
air.
not liquid, Jen.
It's close.
Jen, they're saying it's not liquid inside the scuba tank, bro. That they're saying that.
Yeah.
So when you rapidly
it turns into liquid,
gas,
doesn't it? The gas turns into liquid.
Not all the time.
That's what
not
makes
all
it
gas,
heavier
right?
because you're getting more in there.
We just went through that, man, about 15 minutes ago.
There you go.
And
there you go, Kenny G. We've been talking about this from the Hangouts. Do you remember, Kenny?
Listen,
Hangouts,
Jen,
man.
I remember, bro. But Jen, they said that there's no liquid in the tank, man. It's just air, bro. It's just air.
No, it can't be. Can't be because it's been condensed and compressed.
Have you ever filled a scuba tank?
And then, well, because I've listened to the experts. Okay, and listen up. They said that the moon landing. Hang on. You see, I cannot even speak now.
No, Jim.
Now I can't
have
even
you ever
speak
filled
now.
a scuba tank?
No, I've never filled one. No, of course not.
So would you listen to the
But
experts
I have
who
used.
have filled them?
I have used an air compressor. I
I'm
have
sure you
used
have.
an air compressor, by the way. Okay.
Fill my tire.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
Because you're
you've
putting
never
more
filled a
air
scuba tank.
molecules
Just wait
into
a
the
second.
same
Wait a second. Wait a
volume.
second.
Mass doesn't
Wait
disappear.
a second. Let me highlight. Is another one. It was said that the air tank that they used when they were doing their lunar walks held more than the scuba diver one, but yet it was smaller on the moon. There you go. Work that one out.
Hang on.
Okay.
That's not at all confusing. That's not at all confusing.
Air gets heavier in a scuba tank because you're compressing more air molecules into the same volume. Mass doesn't disappear.
You can make a scuba tank to hold high pressure, very, very high pressure. Now, different
more molecules. Yes.
Okay.
Hang on, just listen, Jen, because you've never filled a scuba tank, like you just said.
3,000 psi.
I fill scuba tanks every week, so every week I'm out there filling scuba tanks. So I do fill scuba tanks, so I do know this. You can make scuba tanks that hold vastly different amounts of pressure. You can have a scuba compressor, sorry, a container, like, Flat Earth Dude's compressor, and it might hold maybe 12 bar. Was it
10
hold 12 bar?
10
bar?
pounds. 10 pounds.
10 pound. Okay, 10 pound. So it's like just under 1 atmosphere.
I don't know.
So,
it goes by horsepower here, man.
Well, I mean, but generally speaking, you can
I
have.
don't know. The tank looks like maybe
compressors.
like 10 gallons, maybe.
That's
7.
right. And they're saying a cubic meter of air at sea level weighs 1.2 kilograms. So if you're going to cram all that extra into of course you're going to get increased weight.
Exactly. But so the point is, you can have a really big container that is only capable of holding low pressure. Now, if you go down to Home Hardware or whatever, and you buy a compressor, it's a couple $100, and you get $1,000, you can get a pretty big compressor, right?
Yep, 50 gallon.
Yeah, 50 gallon, right? That's huge, right? My compressor, it doesn't even have a tank on it. That's how small it is. It doesn't have a tank on it.
It doesn't need to have a tank.
And it's also not that powerful. It's only a couple of horsepower. It's not that powerful.
I mean, 2 horsepower is pretty big, man. Mine's like 1. I got 1 horsepower.
Well, mine also costs like $12,000.
Mine costs like $600.
Exactly. So see the difference. You've got a bigger tank. You've got huge storage capacity. You've got a similar power compressor to mine, and it was literally a 20th of the cost. So what we're dealing with is the ability to hold high pressure is not to do with the size of the tank. It's to do with the quality of the tank and the high quality and the high engineering and the strong material. Yeah,
it has to be incredible, like high grade steel.
Actually, most scuba tanks are aluminium, but aluminium you need thicker. But you do get high use scuba tanks. And if you had a thicker wall and a stronger steel, you could absolutely have a scuba tank. It was much smaller than a recreational scuba tank. They held much more air.
You're right.
So the fact that the scuba tank was small on this moon landing thing has got absolutely nothing to do with how much air it holds.
Actually, it does. Actually, it does, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you ask these experts here now, hang on now, how long can you stay underwater? Please I don't want to hear voices, please. Now, how long can you stay underwater with your regular oxygen tanks that you have on the back? How many hours, please? Let me know.
Hours? It's like 1 hour usually, right?
No, not even close. If I was to use 2 of my tanks, if I do have a dual tank set up, if I was to use 2 of my tanks, I can stand underwater for, well, first thing, is it depends on the pressure of the air you're breathing. So it depends on how deep you go. But if you were not going deep, because on the moon it's the opposite, right? They're not going deep. It's actually going the reverse of deep. Are you suggesting that the air...
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, hey up. Did you see that? Whoa.
How did that happen?
Whoa.
What the fuck was that?
Hey, watch. You want to watch it again? Watch this again.
Oh, yeah. See that again.
Space Busters. This is the Gleason's map and the impossible west to east sun.
Lie to her.
The hips don't lie, Larry. The hips
Yeah,
don't
I'm in the
lie.
mountains if you guys are wondering what I'm talking about.
About talking about the evidence.
Let's
Seems
agree
like
on
the evidence
something.
I'm asking for, you don't have. You just waste diverting, red herring.
I'm not going to talk to you, man. You're such a bad person. Just don't.
Projecting. It's okay.
I'm just getting muted.
Much love.
Oh my god, he's gonna start naming fallacies here.
It's okay. It's okay. Much love.
Taking back Eden is just such a horrible person.
There you go, projecting. When you remember, you point one finger, you have three pointing right back. So imagine how horrible he is, times 3.
Right,
Since he just says it, so imagine that you point one finger and there's 3 pointing right back. So he potentially is more horrible times 3.
I got a novel idea. If you guys don't want to hear about fallacies, don't use bad
like
logic.
junior high
Probably
debating
won't point it out for you.
Oh, no, I think I don't mind if someone points out that an argument is a fallacy. That's cool. I'm cool with that.
No,
I actually prefer to be called out if I'm doing a fallacy. Use my words and show me how it's a fallacy. I want to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me too. Man, I really want to bring the.
That's the whole thing. That's teachability index 1 to 10, willingness to learn, 1 to 10, willingness to change.
Exactly. I'm like, well, okay, you got 3,000 psi in your tank, and it weighs 10 pounds more.
Yeah,
it has to be a globe. It has to be a globe, Larry. Come on, bro.
Well, I don't think anyone said it has to be.
I mean,
yeah, actually, Robert Simmons.
Yeah, that was just an isolated question around. That was just a question around, the biases and downward vectors of air. I mean, it wasn't necessarily proof of the globe. I don't think anyone claimed that. It was just.
No, you didn't. You're right. I'll agree to that, 100%. But yeah, it was. There's a downward vector of weight of air. Okay.
Yeah, everything has a downward vector. That's just natural law, right?
That's a natural law, except for like
hydrogen.
Wait a minute. When I take a hit off my cigarette, man, the smoke goes up, dude. Is that
Helium.
gas?
That's just
What the hell's
no.
going
Like,
on, man? Why is it
smoke is
going up?
particles. Smoke is particles, and that's because it's hot.
Just
But
particles and
you know,
stuff?
even if you fill a tank with helium, it's still heavier when it's full, and that's one of the lightest gases.
Why do you think that is? You think it's because you're stripping the heat and cold has a downward bias?
No, it actually gets hotter when you compress
No.
it.
So cold air doesn't sink.
That's not what I said. Cold air does sink.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's not
What does water do when you boil it? What direction does the little
That's a good
magically
question,
appearing air balls come
Everything
from?
goes up at that point. Everything goes up.
Hot air
The
goes
water
up. I mean, that's
cycle?
not in contention. Hot air
Yeah.
balloons, man. Like, we know
You
this.
know, yeah, hot air balloons, helium balloons, they go up.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Satelloons are
That's a
just big steel rockets. They're steel balloons. Sorry.
I've seen that. I've seen that video. Yeah. So yeah, man. Heavy things go up, light things go up, heavy things go down, light things go down. Where are we at with this exactly?
I think we're in agreement.
Yeah.
Air is affected
we all
by a
agree,
downward
man.
vector, and
By temperature. You increase the
so
temperature, it
we all
might
agree
rise.
on
Lower the temperature, it might fall.
Okay, we can agree there is an up and a down.
Yeah, we got that.
Is
Yeah. Temperature is a variable right there with that.
Yeah, we're good.
Causal. Temperature and pressure, not gravity.
Gravitas. Latin for weight.
Sorry, what was that, Larry? I couldn't quite hear you. You were
Yep, the
slow.
oceans are held down by pressure and temperature. Low temperature and high pressure is what holds down the oceans. Not whatever you guys are calling gravity, mass attracting mass, or bending
Well,
orbit.
right now we're just talking about air having a downward
so you're
bias.
denying the gravity well? Do you deny?
Oh, the gravity well. Oh man.
Well, yeah.
Ugh. Oh man. That's a funny one. Larry's
Thinking is for imagination.
I get a question.
Yep.
How come a gyroscope on the equator will precess at 15 degrees per hour?
Well,
Man,
if you figure out what you think is causing it, let us know so that we can
Yeah.
manipulate that variable.
I can speculate.
So
Is
that
it
we could,
really?
try to pinpoint down to what the cause is. Because right now, nobody actually knows what the cause is.
I have a
What could be causing it? Like, what are some options that we could think about manipulating?
No,
I don't think
you tell
I don't-
me. That's what I'm saying. If
yeah,
you
I
think
don't
you
think
know
there's
what's causing it, let me know.
Yeah, let us know, man. If there's something we can manipulate, that'd be cool.
Well, I'm
Right,
not saying
Larry?
that you can manipulate. I'm just saying, what are the possibilities? Like, if we're going to have to start picking things and
Well, I
manipulating to
mean,
find out which
if
one it is.
possibilities,
Yeah.
obviously, you have to go and stop something from doing what it's doing. I don't think we can do that,
Well, you
man.
can break it down to something simpler, right? What generally causes gyroscopes to precess?
Well, they don't precess.
do.
They normally just stay in their plane, right? They don't actually change.
True. That's true.
Right. They stay on the plane, bro.
So you can reproduce this behavior by taking a gyroscope, fixing it to something, some datum, and then rotating
Man,
that datum.
but
right?
do every single one of them precess exactly the same? Every single one of them.
The rotisserie gyroscope.
Well, no, different quality of different instruments is going to have an effect.
the different
That's-
qualities.
You say rotisserie?
Does any instrument ever measure the exact same number as any other instrument?
No, of course not. That'd be
Okay,
ridiculous.
well, I'm glad we could put that to rest. Interesting question.
Yep. I have to measure high precision piano strings when I restring a piano, and I have to know the actual measurement of the string for that note. So yeah, measuring things is cool, man. I get it. We love measuring shit. I do. I mean, it helps me pay my mortgage, for fuck's sake. Measuring shit. I get it.
I can't think of anything other than the gyroscope is in fact not changing its plane. I can't
Yeah,
think of
but
anything else that would
my
cause it to
question
stay in
was,
recess.
does every single gyroscope act the same and does
Oh, we
it
answered
the
that.
same results every time?
Well, if you're claiming that, and I'm not saying that you are, just if you're
Right.
claiming that it's the Earth's rotation, wouldn't you be able to measure, the go around the galaxy too? Because that's also a motion that's actually happening in reality.
What would that
Wouldn't that
be
be measurable?
in radians per second?
What do you mean by radians per second? Exactly.
Although there's
Wait,
also a GR answer to that, right? On a geodesic, no.
I mean, yeah, how much is the universe rotating? I mean, that's a good question.
The universe isn't rotating in your model.
Well,
it would actually be the galaxy that's
oh, yeah,
rotating.
how much is the galaxy rotating?
There you go.
Apologies, I misspoke.
That's a great question. I love that question.
How many
much-
degrees? How many degrees per minute do we reckon the galaxy is rotating? I wonder if Google knows the answer.
That'd be great, man. You guys are all into that AI.
Oh, no,
search
I hate it.
quad.
No, I don't trust AI. That's one thing we've got to be sure of. Don't trust AI. It just makes things up.
I know, right? It makes stuff. Yeah, it makes songs up, man. My friend made a song
I
from
think
his
if you were to work
phone.
it out, it would probably be like between 1 or 2 degrees every million years.
That's pretty crazy, man.
That
Are we
might
going to
be
be here
hard
to?
to
Are we going to
detect.
be here to verify that million years? I
So we
don't.
can't verify the measurement of the motion. How unfortunate.
Not with a gyroscope,
It's
Larry.
the
No.
greatest observation of all time. It took that long.
Well, I mean,
And you're
I
just
guess
going to
the
be
point
sitting
is
there
that
looking at it.
the point is that in the model, the globe model, quote unquote, that amount of rotation is essentially non-existent for the purposes. Yeah, it's essentially trivial. Well, it's not essentially trivial. It is trivial for what we're talking about. We're talking about degrees per hour, not degrees per millennia. Well, actually, per million years, not even millennia. Anyway.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
That's convenient.
No, it's not.
It's convenient.
Why is that convenient?
Actually, extremely inconvenient if you.
That's not at all convenient for a lot of people, honestly.
Well,
Oh, you can't handle it? You can't handle the truth?
Einstein and Newton would have loved Discord, man. Come out here and hang out with Earth Awakenings, bro. They would have loved this shit, man. They'd be
Newton
like,
certainly would have been among his
fuck,
peers. I'll
are
tell
you
you that
kidding
in
me?
some way, at least.
Well, of course, but
In the
Well,
sense that
Newton was a bit of a player, bro.
those Mongos would have loved this shit, man.
Newton was in
And
fact
it
not a
really-
bit of a player.
Are you kidding me?
Bit of a socialite.
Dude,
We can share files and pictures and fucking videos and links and we can do all this cool shit, man. Those Mongos didn't have it. No, they didn't have this, bro. They had like books and letters. I'll send you a letter next week, bro. I'm busy, Yeah. It was shit, man. Those guys had shit to work with, man. We have the tools that are just incredible. That's all I'm saying, man. So yeah,
Hey, Larry,
keep talking
have you
about
been keeping up with the Desi news?
I don't know about Desi, man. What's
I
up?
don't know what that is.
The dark energy spectroscopy.
No, I have not.
No,
Really?
I haven't
I think
tripped
you'd
on
like
that
it.
this week.
They're
Maybe
they're
next
like
week,
3
though.
sigma from Lambda CDM right now.
Far out.
Did they find
Sounds
dark polarity?
Dark polarity.
They found the dark
the fuck?
polarity finally?
Still dark magic?
We've been looking
Dark
for it.
magic. I got some dark magic in the corner with a little bit of.
I've just heard Larry mention this sort of crisis in cosmology talking point a number
No,
of times.
tell me about it. What's going on? What do I need to know?
I'm not an expert. You should read up on it, but it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Desi, this Docker energy spectroscopy instrument has done a bunch of redshift measurements, and looks like Lambda CDM is not a good fit. The sort of standard model, right? Interesting stuff. I just thought you'd like it.
Yeah, sure. Let me look it up.
Oh yeah.
What's the Lambda thing? What are you saying? Like it disproves
Lambda CDM is
or something, or like it's yeah.
Lambda CDM is the standard
What's that?
model.
Stop pretending like I should
collect
know.
the past. I'm trying to tell you if you just listen. It's like the standard
Sorry,
model
Larry,
of
go ahead.
cosmology. It's all right. It's all right. For like, the past 100 years or so, and even though there's been better models of gravity that have come out, this one is the one that they've kind of hung on to for as long as they can, and they can't kick the can down the road any further. Is what it sounds like.
There's a long delay going on here, sorry guys. Sounds to me just in that brief interaction. So what, they modeled gravity? Is that what you're saying? Like, what does it look like? Does it look like that sort of static, fuzzy little picture, and they say, look, there it is? Or
There's more than like one or two models of gravity, right?
oh yeah, I'm familiar with all the debauchery. I just wanted to know, like, yeah, for sure, debauchery. I wanted to know, like, what's the actual image? I'll just go look it up. It'd be easier, right?
Actual image.
Are you implying that it's not a photograph or a measurement or something, or?
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. No idea.
Lambda. What is the lambda thing?
The lambda CDM?
Lambda is the cosmological constant.
Alternatively, Riksky, they're trying to detect it underground, deep underground labs where they try to catch dark matter particles bumping into atoms. I think one lab is called Lux Zeppelin.
So we had one possible answer for the gyroscope's processing. Do you have any others that we think are worth considering?
I posted a few different models of gravity there for you.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking this stuff up now. I thought it'd be like a picture or something. I always got like a pretty picture with this shit.
Lambda CDM
Sorry
is
for
not
the
a model of gravity. It is a model of basically the universe development.
You didn't hear me say it's a model of gravity, right?
I did hear you say it's a model of gravity, and it is not. Lambda CDM is not a gravity model. It uses
If I said that, I was incorrect.
It uses Einsteinian gravity as part of its model, but it is not just the gravity model. It has to do with the development of the universe.
Yeah, if those words came out of my mouth, I did not mean to say that.
Okay.
I said it was the standard model of cosmology. That's what I meant to say.
Well, then you said something that it is a gravity model. It's a model of gravity.
No, I said I posted a bunch of different models of gravity.
Oh yeah, I counted 12 here, Larry. Thank you for posting that.
You're welcome.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's a good post, Larry. I love it. Thank you.
Looks like it's in a timeline too. Is it in
it's the timeline,
chronological
man.
order?
That's fantastic, bro.
Yeah,
That's great.
1983 is the best one.
I gotta mooch that one, bro. I gotta.
Yeah.
Mons aren't accepted by anybody.
They're not accepted, huh?
No.
Nobody accepts Mon.
Oh, I didn't say nobody that matters.
Okay, so Malgrim, he don't matter. Gotcha.
Yeah, he don't matter, Larry. He don't matter.
So does that solve the three body problem? Or are they still having a bit of trouble with that one?
The 3-body problem the problem with the three-body problem is that there's no general solution. You can solve it for any given set of bodies, but you can't solve it for every given situation using a single set of equations.
Yeah.
So it's flat. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's not what he's trying to tell you. Remarkable you'd think so, though.
I'm being cheeky.
Just a bit.
Comes up through a window in.
Around. That'd be cool.
You know, spaceship Mother Earth, her belt size is 24,000 miles. It's a thick bitch.
Yeah. But she's proportioned properly. I don't know, man.
She asked me if,
especially over here, man. There's some curves over here.
if all those oceans
kind of
made her
curves you're thinking about.
A little bit too wavy, you know, and I couldn't lie to her.
The hips don't lie, Larry. The hips
Yeah,
don't
I'm in the
lie.
mountains. If you guys are wondering what I'm talking about. There's always some nice curves in the distance.
The hips don't lie.
Are you like flirting with Moose or something? What's going on?
No. That's what you would call debauchery.
Yeah, we ain't going there. No. We don't have to go there, Larry. My goodness. Yikes.
Let's talk about the beautiful mountains, and this dude's thinking about moose. He's moosing.
Right?
You're in Moose territory.
I'm behind enemy lines.
When are they going to start stop letting all those moose kill everybody?
Next year we'll do that next year.
Or the year after next?
Yeah.
Are you a Canadian?
No, man. No.
Oh, good. I was ingesting some cannabis through my lungs. I'll be waiting on someone to cook something up.
Well, all the Canadians I've ever met, man, they seem to be pretty cool people, man.
I wasn't expecting that.
So cool, man. Like they're like California. They're a lot like California. Look, I mean, hear me out, bro. They're a lot like Californians, man. And they got their own vibe and energy and spunk, and it's like, damn, man, these people are fucking way chill, man. You guys are chill up there, bro. Canada.
No pun intended.
I love you for it, man. I love you for chilling, having a brewski.
You know,
I love it.
Would you rather be the 51st state or the 52nd or the 53rd? Because we got Puerto Rico, which we really
that's
don't.
pretty much America already, man.
But that's like a buffer zone. Like that can get invaded.
Yeah, that's a
And
whole
America's
scam.
not
Whole Puerto Rico scam, bro.
They should do a
I know some cats from Puerto Rico, man. They're like, yeah, man, it's like
There's
America.
some beautiful women from Puerto
He goes, dude, you don't need a passport or nothing. You just fly there, man. It's cool, man. You're good.
I wonder if the flat earthers are proportional in Canada. Maybe they don't have the same attachment that maybe some Americans do to the government. So maybe they're more open to flat earth and not the moon landings being staged. I wonder if there's more flat earthers proportionally.
Yeah, I think Canada's a big dude. I know a lot of Canadian flat earthers, man. A lot. More than England. More than Europe, Germans. Yeah. Proportionally, I think you're right, man. Canadian flat earthers are like, there's a shitload of them, man.
Hey, dude, in the last 4 years, have you met more flat earthers in real life?
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been surprised.
Run into them.
Yeah, it's no
I
problem.
don't even talk about it a whole lot in real life, and I still run into them.
The youngest person that I met was Leonard in 5th grade. When I asked him how he drew his conclusion after he blew my, because I thought I was going to impart knowledge on him, he said it's definitely not a sphere. I asked, well, how did you draw your conclusion? He said science. And then my next question was, did you tell your dad? And he said no.
Interesting. That's
5th grader. Are you smart?
You never tell your dad.
Why is that, man? Why wouldn't we tell our dad, hey, man?
Yeah, if you're 5th grade or you're 45 years old.
5 years old. Yeah, you're not going to do that. But what about 10 or 12 years old?
Yeah, he was in 5th grade.
Yeah, that's different.
Leonard, I think he was Chinese. So maybe his parents are strict, right? They'd probably take away his internet.
They take some bamboo out on him.
You were telling me about this dark energy spectroscopy instrument. Thank you so much for telling me about this. He said that the dark matter is evolving, whatever the fuck that means.
Well, the dark matter is spinning and evolving.
Dark energy, sorry, dark energy.
Oh,
he did say matter, because dark matter doesn't matter. So
Well, dark energies,
It's evolving.
that's what makes everything go round, man. Come on.
Is it devolving? Might be devolving.
Could be. Yeah. It's
Well,
devolving.
the universe wasn't supposed to be expanding and speeding up, so they're like, fuck.
Fuck,
Right.
man. Got a problem here, bro, man. Help
Gotta
me out.
unlock it quick.
You guys got to help me out. I mean, I got a problem here. You guys are the smartest people I know. Help me out, bro. Help me out, man.
So in 98, when they found out that the universe, instead of slowing down, it's speeding up, they're like, where's the gas coming from? Like, who's hitting the gas pedal in this? Where's gravity? How come it's not pulling back?
Yeah. Yeah, what's up with gravity, man? If the universe is
Stretching their pocket
expanding.
protectors.
By the way, do you guys know how fast the universe is expanding in their model? Do you guys know the number? It's
Well, I
fucking
do know that they say, and
They say
that the ever expanding universe
ever
at a
expanding.
rate so
Oh,
fast
so
that the
fast.
spark from the very first Big Bang still hasn't caught up to it. So it's expanding darkness with the light chasing. So it's the ever expanding universe blindly leading us.
Larry, you're gonna love this, Larry, because they say that the universe is expanding at 95 million miles a second.
How do they measure that?
Hey, fuck light speed, Larry. I'm talking about 95 million miles a second.
And how far away is our moon? Sun 93?
This shit is expanding at exceptional rates.
And there's still lumps of gas called stars in the fucking universe.
Yeah, well,
just lumpy gas, just
lumpy gas, bendy gas.
It's devolving.
And all that space is just expanding, and the stars are like, hold it together, boys.
Right.
95 million miles a second, man. I don't know how fast light speed is, but it ain't that fucking. I mean, it's 186,500 miles a second. Or
Next year
whatever.
they'll be going faster when they get the more accurate
95 million
precision.
miles a second, bro.
Yeah, it'll be faster.
It'll be faster when they figure it out. They got better tools.
So how do they measure this? Invisible light can't even catch up to it, but we somehow have knowledge of this expansion rate.
It's crazy, Larry, man. It's crazy. To say, hey,
Leap
man, we
of
got it all
logic.
figured out, man.
Guesswork.
Place is expanding.
That's from Michio Kaku himself.
Yeah, it's one of those mongos. Fuckers. Mongos. But yeah, we'll get through it.
I think he said God made a mistake.
Meh. I mean, I think the globe is the actual conspiracy theory, in my opinion, because in order to believe in the globe, man, you have to go to the ocean, sail it, and go, yep, it's spinning. We're spinning. What? What do you mean we're spinning?
Yeah.
Bro, what do you got? What do you got? Oh, well, I got some, I just.
It might be that for some it's the biggest conspiracy. For some it's the second biggest.
Yeah, it's so
but
crazy.
It's up there.
So the globe is the conspiracy theory, in my opinion. That those motherfuckers had to come up.
What
with
is the
all
globe hiding? Antarctica, right? Extra land, extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrials, extra land, yeah.
Other humans that are smarter than
but
computer chip technologies, animated porn better and better each year.
Do you think if there are people that are in the extra land, you think that they start off whiter than Irish people and Russians, and then you go further and further away, and then there's darker skinned people there too? The whole spectrum, here, just all kinds of different tribes.
Well, why are my eyes blue? Because I lived in Ireland, and it was there wasn't enough wind to blow the. I had to have non-built-in sunglasses, which I tell the beautiful Latin ladies, and I could see further and hunt and fuck another bitch and make more babies. Got to me now.
Okay. A little TMI, but it's cool. So the Earth looks flat at the ocean
from the highest mountain, tallest building.
We got mountains and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Even pilots say it's flat.
The water looks level and shit, and then you got to go, oh man, no. It's a globe. It's curving over here, and we're like, what? Where's it curving, bro? Where?
When you have your camera 6 inches off the
we
shoreline.
Got 6 inches, 12 inches,
6.5 inches,
6.5. And it looks flat, and we can see way far, and that's weird. That's cool. It's kind of weird. We shouldn't see that far. Well, okay. We shouldn't see that far. Who says? NASA and the government and
the naysayers,
the teachers
and the controllers.
teach you in school? Hey, man, spinning globe, man.
When we went down south, did we bring infrared photography?
Well, I don't know how far down south you're talking about.
Oh, we went to Antarctica.
Who?
Well, if they were in Antarctica, wouldn't everything have looked like fucking blue? Everything would be cold, right?
Is cold blue? Is that what you're saying, Larry?
Yeah. Infrared is like heat signatures show red.
Yes. Infrared is a heat signature. Yes. Yeah, I don't know, man. Was that done? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Yep, we don't know. We're willing to look into it, but you know,
Us
we
to
don't know.
see
Sorry for
further.
speculating about like super white and dark people on the other side. Imagine how beautiful it would be coming across all those untouched cultures. No missionaries to cloud their view. No schools and programming and internet. You just get there and they're like, eat this fruit. Don't eat that one.
Larry, have you seen The Bounty? It's a great movie about hidden islands.
I don't watch much TV, so yeah, post it.
Okay, it's a
Are
classic.
vegans out there, the extraterrestrials? Black guy.
I'm an outer ponder myself. I think there's other ponds, but I have no evidence to back it up. Zero.
We all
completely
like different
false.
little ponds on a golf ball, each little dipple.
Outer ponders. People from extraterrestrials, like he said, man. What does that mean? It means extra land, extra people. Yep. Extraterrestrials. That's what it, I did the gematria on that shit, man. That's what it means, according to what I've learned. Now, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense that these Mongols would hide that shit from us. Man. Like, hey, we got all this cool land over here. Don't tell anybody about that, bro.
So you think that
secret, bro?
So we can war over lithium,
Exactly.
here, and I'd be like, oh yes.
There
So do you think they're all ignorant out there and happily enjoy gay? No pun intended.
Are the majority of people happy? Is that what you're asking?
If they don't have a government and they're, they don't even know the word anarchy.
Well, hierarchy is natural. There's going to be a hierarchy.
Yeah, hierarchy seems very natural to me. I'm American Indian. We had like some chiefs and shit that were like taking care of us, bro.
Marlon Brando, holy shit! What was this filmed in like the 60s?
Oh, this one's one of my favorite versions of it.
Oh,
The
okay.
cinematography, the storyline. Oh, it's epic.
Epic.
Oh yeah. I sent
So
this
have
to
you?
I sent this to you, Flatters, dude, because I know you're a sailor as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I DM'd it to you.
All right.
So if you ever get a chance, feel free to watch that one.
Oh fuck yeah, man! I want to watch that. Marlon Brando? Are you kidding me? On the sea? Yeah, let's do it. Let's go sailing.
Has anyone come up with an explanation for the sun circles yet for flat Earth?
When the sun is over my head in the summertime, it's really hot. And when it's far away in the south, it kind of it's low on the horizon.
What does he mean, sun circles?
Very
Sun
cold.
dogs?
It's very cold.
What's a sun circle?
Well, the sun going above people's heads. Those sun circles.
You mean the path of the sun?
Path of the sun, yes.
Yeah, the path of the sun. Where are you? You in the north somewhere?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yep.
Yeah. Which way would you turn to follow the path of the sun where you are?
East
I wouldn't
to west.
turn. I would go straight, right?
Yeah, but if you had to watch it, and you watched it in the morning, and how would you physically turn to watch it go away at the end of the day to follow that path?
It goes over my head.
At an angle, man. That's all I know.
Goes over my head, and
Like right over your head where you are. Where are you? Where it goes right over your head.
I'm in Southern California,
Yeah,
America.
it doesn't go right over your head then, does it?
Well, pretty much in June 21st. Yeah, the fucker's right over my head, man.
Which way? I mean, if it comes up through a window in the morning,
On the east, comes
yeah.
up
So
on
if
the
you're
east.
in your house, and you saw that coming up in the morning,
Yeah.
you know, and then it goes through another window at the end of the day, you see it go away.
Yep.
How would
You
you?
guys are getting.
Which direction would you turn, rotate yourself, in order to follow that path from one window to another? Let's say.
From the top looking down, clockwise.
No,
Right?
you're
Right?
not looking down. You're just standing on the ground.
No,
Just
I'm
you.
doing the
Which way would
looking
you
down
turn?
thing to give you orientation clockwise from the ceiling's point of view, from the ceiling fan's point of view.
What's
You
the
turn
ceiling got to
clockwise,
do
right?
with it? So you're
I'm
turning
trying to give you
clockwise, yeah.
orientation. You're saying which way would you turn? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm trying to give
on
you
the
like
floor, not the ceiling.
you'd still be turning the same direction.
Yeah, which is that? What would that be though? Is that clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Well, it depends what your frame of reference is. You don't like the ceiling. How about the floor? Still clockwise.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it took you a long while to get to clockwise. Gee. Well, there are some people who turn anti-clockwise to watch that path.
Yeah, the people on the other side of the equator, right?
So those are the sun. Yeah, well, those are the sun circles we're talking about. One that
No,
rotates clockwise, and another one that rotates anti-clockwise. And I
that's the
wondered if how that
guy.
has been amalgamated into the flat Earth world yet.
He's just the guy underneath the truck changing the oil upside down and confused. Had a couple beers. Long day.
Yeah, I think you've had a couple of beers already. Has it been a long day?
What about on the AE map, the Gleason's map? Which way would you imagine the sun circles on that?
The royal map.
Around.
What do you think of these Space Buster guys? I believe they're flat earthers, right?
I haven't seen the Space Buster guys, but maybe others have here.
Yeah. They did a video, came out 6 days ago. It's called the Gleason's Map and Impossible West to East Sun. Did you see that?
Oh no.
Did you hear about
Yeah, that
it?
was a good one.
I think Flatsoid went over it.
Oh, I like Flatsoid, yeah.
Can I show a screen so you guys can see something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bev.
Let me get this. This is it's called Scamtarctica.
Oh yeah.
The video.
That part of Antarctica they were in, I guess, is governed by Chile.
Well, I don't. This is the Space Busters guys doing a video about the impossible west to east sun on the Gleason's map, and they were sort of, I think they're promoting it. Yeah, everyone in? Oh, there's only 2 of you in here.
Yeah,
Oh,
I see.
come on, guys.
I'm in there.
You might want to see this. I don't know whether anybody's mentioned this before or not, but I mean, this will definitely be new. If Jared would have known about this, I think things might have been different.
Interesting.
Right, so watch
Are you
the
guys
sun.
still
Right?
mourning the loss of Jared?
I'm not. It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I mean, we had a word with Jared ages ago, years ago. I could have told you that this was going to happen then. It's the same with Nathan Oakley and all of that, right? This sun circle is a problem. Sun circles. So watch the video. You watching? See the sun? See the sun? See which way it's going? You got that?
Yeah, we see the sun, bro.
That's clockwise, right?
Sure.
And then he goes through a load of stuff about, different places and all of that. And then we get to this bit. What is it? Yeah, let me just take 2555. I'll play it from here, right? So he's talking about this. Watch this. Where's the sun going to come from? Go on, have a guess. Anyone?
Should be coming from the left.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, hey, up. Did you see that? Whoa.
How did that happen?
Whoa.
What the fuck was that?
All right,
Is that the
watch. You want to watch
explanation?
it again? Watch this again.
Oh, yeah. See that again.
Space Busters. This is the Gleason's map and the impossible west to east sun.
Look at that. That's how it's done.
Wow.
Is that the scam he's talking about there?
Oh, well, yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean,
Right.
maybe it's the flat earthers not noticing that they're being scammed by people showing them things that, well, I mean, is that impossible? Is it impossible for this one to go in 2 counter rotations on the
I got a question.
map?
Do flat earthers bring up the Gleason's map, or is it usually globe earthers who bring it up?
This is
I think they have a
Busters.
direction.
I got an
You
answer.
have a direction for the sun, though, don't you?
I bring up my map. I posted it in chat.
Oh, you got a map.
What
Everybody's got
way
a
does
map.
your sun go round then?
What? Really does. Just inside the Tropic of Capricorn, it goes the other way around.
So if you click that Twitter link, you can see the map I referenced, which was, and there's a link to it. And you can see the Japanese award-winning artist rendition of Earth's land masses at a scale of 1-to-1 to each other without any distortions or making Europe look real big and Africa looking real small to, program us as children that we're better, white man's better than everyone else. And Australia's not a big old turd on the side of a toilet bowl. It actually looks like Australia.
What did it tell you about the way the sun goes round then? In the rotation of the sun? Did it say anything about that in your
I can post a follow-up to that where you can view it from the quote-unquote Antarctica south of South America. I can post that.
Thank you, Marty.
So does your sun, which way does your sun go round for you?
I don't got any kids that I know of.
Kids?
What?
What's it got to do with kids?
I've accepted Jesus Christ into my heart as my Lord and Savior.
What's he got to do with the sun?
We're going to talk about the Holy Ghost next?
We're talking about the direction of the sun in your world, where you are, just for you.
Oh, where I am.
Which direction is it going?
Well, now, let me ask you this. Riddle me this, Batman. How many days did it take for God to create the ever-expanding universe and Earth?
No idea.
Well, you don't think we have 7 days in the calendar for
rested on the 7th, didn't it?
Yeah, 6 days.
6 days is the right answer, because on Sunday you're supposed to rest, right?
Sunday.
They make you go to work.
Turn the sun around.
That's the first day of the week. Next thing
Yeah,
you're going to be
exactly.
telling me is that
Exactly.
October is the 10th month.
Did he say regardless of resting on the one day of the week, all the rest of the days you can be drunk?
I
Think of doing everything you needed to do just in a week, and then you got eternity to do whatever you want.
What did he say about the sun then? Which direction did he
So
say?
when he made light, we all know, it's on the second day. What are you doing the first day? We couldn't see nothing. Let me ask you this. Riddle me this, Batman. When he was spinning that ball Earth, did he have America lit up first, and then the sun rose on China? Because that's what the sun comes
America there on the second
and
day?
that's why we get to be in the future. We're in fucking Australia.
Did it say anything about America or spinning in that on the second day? Have you got a scripture for that?
What do you think about flat earthers that sort of do videos and I don't know how many people have noticed that. I don't know how many people bother watching, flat earth videos on it. But I take it the flat earthers would be the 6,000 people that watch that, right?
Well, you got Flat Earth Society members, and then you got what's the other one? Infinite Plane members.
Yeah. How many people do you reckon have noticed that they've actually got the sun going into different?
Who was saying Flat Earth Society? You've never met anyone from the Flat Earth Society. Oh, he had a card and he paid $12 and he got in the mail.
It might be you. You might be. How would we know? That's not a good look for the flat Earth to have the sun going in, switching directions. I'd have thought they'd have been on that and said, "Whoa, come on, you can make us look silly."
Hey, you know that you keep strawmanning us because we didn't bring that map up. So the map
is.
Hold on, bro. I'm speaking. The map I dropped in 2016. So everybody else was around. Hold on, bro.
Which direction did your sun
Can you
go?
hold your tongue, sir?
No.
For a moment, please. You can't hold your tongue while I denounce the fact that you're misrepresenting our argument because we didn't
Is
bring.
that your argument, though? Is it your argument? You just said it wasn't.
No, it's not.
Why you piped up? It's not yours.
Dude, I'm in the middle of piping up. Sorry that the middle of my sentence interrupted the beginning of yours. Can you shut it now?
I've never heard anybody say anything about the rotational sun circles.
I Mary was trying to give us some information.
Yeah, just do this, man. I come in here to
a little history. Yeah, just a little history. Right. So the people that I've been hanging out with, we have been passing around AE maps since 2016. So I don't know about the rest of you flat earthers in here, but that's not what I think the world is. Is there any flat earthers in here that would like to claim that the AE map is a valid representation of the flat Earth and not a squashed globe? You have the floor.
I don't want you to comment on that. Like, what I'm after is, like,
Oh, I got an
do you
answer.
have
This guy
anything
wants
to-
to just shut the fuck up.
do you have anything to say about the flat earthers that made this video? I mean, I know you don't. You guys definitely don't do that. But do you have any comment on the flat earthers that do that? Because they're a lot more vocal. They're making videos.
I don't do, okay?
No.
It's not a bad look, I think. Maybe I'll take a look at it and leave a comment. Thank you, though, for pointing that out, Bev.
Hey.
Who are the Spacebuster guys, are they? They're quite prominent, aren't they? They have a good name. I'll give them that.
Better than Ballbusters. Don't switch that up.
Yeah.
Ballbusters? What's wrong with the Ballbusters? I think they were going to try and steal Blowbusters' name.
Oh, wow.
They were going to take it as theirs.
As far as I'm concerned, they're all a bunch of busters.
I mean, regardless of the, whether you go with the Gleason's map or the EA map, the sun does go round in a circle.
Here we go. I got the
So
cell.
which direction does it go?
Here we go. It goes the same direction this race is. Larry, I'm addressing you, and not this Aussie, maybe Kiwi guy. But here is the map of when you sell a air-powered boat. That's what a sail is for the ladies out there. It's not fucking a fire sale. It's not a shopping spree. They go around the world. Women like to go on vacation and just go shopping in different countries. Oh, I like the sea. Oh, it's in euros. I don't know how much it costs. Just get it, babe. So you look at my map, and I drew the yellow line show how you just piggyback around Earth's land masses.
You're not making much sense. I can say that. Wondering which way the sun goes round. Which direction.
So look, you start in Europe. Everyone knows you start your cell in Europe, right? In France there. So it's going from quote unquote east to west. So when God made Earth, the United States, let me finish.
Circle, is it, or a straight line?
The United States was lit up first. We're in the future, not you guys. And then
you got the Bible that you're referring to, does it?
Elderbeer, stop it.
That's what it says. He was quoting the Bible.
Elderbeer.
Who's that shouting at me?
It's a mod. You are jumping in. You are jumping in over everybody. Keep yourself a little quiet and follow the rules.
Okay, boss.
Larry, let me ask you. Does it matter which way the sun is going or which way Earth is rotating?
Well, the second one's loaded. It's a loaded question. The first one doesn't matter which way the sun's going. Yeah, it's always going east to west. Like I've been telling globe earthers for like 10 years now that the sun, moon, and stars rotate east to west, and yet there's a glober in here. He's been asking like over and over again, like which way does the sun rotate? It's like they still don't fucking know.
Well, that's why I asked you which way it rotates.
Counter-rotational on the Gleason's map when they show the sun, or does it go in one particular direction?
I
know you guys don't do the sun circles right on the Gleason's map, but people like Nathan Oakley measure angles to lights in the sky, and they generate latitude circles. Now, does the sun rotate around the light in the sky like the latitude circles?
Who are you asking, Bev?
Well, I'm asking you.
You guys explain the map that you brought up.
No. I'm saying I know that you don't have that map that Spacebusters have done. Right? I'm asking you because Nathan Oakley doesn't have that map either. But people like Nathan Oakley generate latitude circles by measuring angles to lights in the sky to prove the flat Earth. Now, does that make the sun circle?
Does that make the sun circle?
Yes.
I don't know, bro.
Okay.
Does that make the sun circle? I don't know what makes the sun circle.
Does the sun circle?
It appears to make a circuit once every 24 hours. Exactly.
Now that circuit, you say, is east to west. But it's an east circle, and west is just the counter rotation, isn't it? Of the same circle.
It would be, I guess, if there was a counter rotation of something to rotate. What's rotating?
The sun.
I just see it make a circuit. I've never seen it rotate or revolve. It just makes a circuit.
Okay, now is that circuit a circular circuit in which the sun is travelling?
Hard to tell. It appears to change over the year.
Yeah, it appears to change rotations. It goes the other way round, doesn't it?
In what fucking universe does that happen?
Well, when the 24-hour sun in the north goes above your head in a clockwise direction.
Yeah,
so it does go round in a circle. It does go around the rotation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Even if you don't see a whole rotation where you are every day.
Well, when you say rotation,
it is understood that happens. There is a rotation.
I think we're saying the same thing with different words. You're saying rotation, and I'm saying circuit. I think it's the same thing.
Okay. Now, it's known that other places that circuit goes counter-rotational, counter-circuit.
Who's ever saw that in reality?
Isn't that what the experimenters went to go and do?
Oh, you believe what you saw on TV? I got it.
Well, I mean, don't people who live in the south watch the sun rotate or go from the right to the left?
I don't know.
No, I don't either.
I
mean, would we trust somebody were there to be somebody here who lives in the south and does actually say, yes, the sun rises there and sets over there, which is counter to what we experience?
How many times have you said the word? I don't trust people. No, I don't trust people.
No. Wise. So, I mean, I think the thing is, that's what the problem was, right? People can't believe that the sun might actually do that.
Oh,
and then when people like Jaren go and see it, right? People say, I don't believe you.
It totally could be doing that, yeah.
Holy shit, there's a lot of people in the talk chat right now, man. What the hell?
That's what initially made me wonder. Yeah, that's what initially made me wonder whether they'd, an understanding had been reached with that. So far, that was what I originally asked. To incorporate those two the counter rotation of the sun.
Someone asked me if I was drinking some beers. I'm smoking some OG Kush concentrates.
Are you concentrating?
I'm in Colorado. We got purple weed.
Nice. I'm concentrating. I'm trying to see how long. Wait. You don't have anyone in your family that lives anywhere close to wells, correct, mate?
But it does go above in the north. It's been observed to rotate clockwise above a person's head in the north. Would you agree with that?
So you think you live on top of the ball that the
No, just
Globe
looking at
drop
observation of the sun,
figure.
wherever. You're always on top of the ball anyway, aren't you?
Oh, ever?
So you don't agree that that happens in the north?
What happens?
That the sun goes above one's head in a clockwise direction.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, have you been there? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, but you believe that? You disbelieve these other people who said they saw it go in another direction? Seems a strange bit of logic.
Well, I don't really have an opinion on it. You misunderstood my conclusion. My conclusion is I'm on the fence, and I'm happy to sit there for years and decades because I just don't know, don't care, don't know.
So you have no idea what the sun does for you in your world at all?
Is that what I said?
I don't know. I'm just trying to find out where you are. You said you have,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
still on
saying
the
I
fence,
don't
so
know
you can't be
what
on the
the
fence
sun.
on everything.
Why not? If I don't have any experience on it, why should I believe it?
What's your
I'm not the
experience with the
agnostic.
sun?
Is it okay with you
On
that
the
I'm
fence there.
agnostic?
If you watch the sun and its path, and don't fall off the fence because you'll have to move. You do have to turn in a certain direction to follow its path. So that's your reality, I presume. That you would have made some kind of analysis, if you like, of your personal experience.
Elder Bear, did you know they have a picture from 1910, 1911? It's recognized by U.S. Congress as the first photograph of the midnight sun. So this has been suggestions since 1900s and before. We're looking for a higher level of evidence, like maybe an uncut video from Earth far enough away. It doesn't exist.
There are people today who have seen this sun, both in the north and in a place that they say it's in the south.
Okay, yeah, looking at the sky.
That's happened today. It's not a picture from 100 years ago.
Well, I'm just saying they had this
people
idea.
are reporting this.
Oh yeah, they've reported it since 1910. But it doesn't change the fact that we don't have an uncut video from Earth far enough away. Why? Because there's a dome.
Does it change the direction of the sun for you in your experience personally?
Well, I'd like to confirm the layout precisely, but this evidence has been around since 1910, 1911.
But
it's not the final
say
experiment. It's
you say
definitely
the
not
Earth
the
is
final
flat?
experiment. Oh yeah, I accept the biblical model with the dome and the circle of the Earth.
You haven't verified that either.
Well, it's highly probable because we've had high altitude tests from the U.S. in 1962 where they detonated bombs 35 miles up, 85 miles up, 95 miles up, supposedly 450 miles up, hitting the firmament. So there's evidence of the firmament. Lack of video from the Earth to far enough away showing the Earth where you have to get 22,000 miles. So that's evidence of firmament. Rockets hitting the firmament. Supposedly.
So what decides your level of what evidence you actually believe in, then, or you take on as
evidence
your experience?
Oh, thank you.
Seems a bit, woolly.
Well, there's different types of evidence with different types of weight, right? You gotta, just like in a jury, you gotta weigh the evidence. It's like this. You can imagine there's 100% evidence. Some people see 10% of the evidence and they're comfortable enough with making an assumption where they're 100% certain. Some people have to wait to see all 100% evidence. Some people will have 99% evidence and think it's one way, but maybe perhaps that last 1% will completely turn it on its head.
Did you watch the video a bit earlier? Did you watch that?
I did, yeah.
All right, so there you go. There's 100% of the evidence there.
Yeah, but that's a Gleason's
projection. What do you think about that then?
That's a Gleason's projection. So remember, that's just that's
a globe.
Yeah, provided
by
by
the sun. It's a flat earther.
And
You have to incorporate the path of the sun into a flat Earth understanding, where he clearly shows the sun going in two directions, opposing rotations.
Visual
So there's some
direction.
evidence. Well, you're there. You watched it right now. It's not
That's a confused
1910 or
flat
1960. That's what.
The physical direction stays the same, east to west. The visual direction is clockwise, anti-clockwise.
Yeah, it's apparent.
Are you saying that he didn't know what he was doing? He was just confused when he made that video and made the sun go in
No,
two
that's not
different
what I
directions.
said. That's not what I said. I didn't say he didn't know what he was doing.
So he
I'm
did
just
know
saying
what he was doing. I mean, like,
if he thinks that is an accurate representation of the dirt outside, then he's confused. So any
No,
assumptions?
it's just
Hold on,
talking
bro.
about
Hold
the
on, bro.
sun.
Hold on.
Not
Hold on,
talking
bro.
about the
Hold
dirt.
on, mid-sentence, bro. So if he has concluded anything based off of that fictitious model, that's fruit of the poisonous tree. Nothing good can come from making assertions about something that the model's wrong. Like the Earth is not the AE map. The AE map is not the Earth.
He's talking about the sun, though. Impossible west to east sun. Is he showing that, or is he sort of determining that east is on the right-hand side of the map, so therefore the sun can come from the right-hand side? Do you
Again,
think?
you're trying to get me to explain your video that you produced that I haven't got a chance to watch.
It's not my video.
You brought it up, bro. It's your claim. You're
I'll
asking
put-
me
I'll
to
put the
explain
link in the chat,
away
then you can have a look
your
at it, you
claim.
guys.
No, thank you. I care not, but thanks for putting it in the chat.
It's representation for flat earthers, isn't it? It represents what flat earthers may think, and some may copy that and go, yeah, that's the explanation.
Yeah, we're just looking out for the flat earthers, right? You wouldn't want people going around fucking making flat earthers, believe things that are ridiculous, like
Those 6,000
making arguments
people
or
do
something. Imagine that. Imagine what would happen.
6,000
People were fooled into doing magic tricks with angles and following fallacious modus tollens.
We're going to courtrooms and having jurisdiction over them.
If it's only 200 or 300 flat earthers in Discord, isn't it really? Not many. It's not 6,000. You always hear the same voices, so it can't be many. So it must be more than the flat earthers that are around here. If there's 6,000 watched it.
1,000 a day is not bad. I mean, this channel's doing great. But,
Yeah, so that's why I was asking about which way you would turn to follow the sun for you, to try and work out whether that was feasible, what he's presenting, or not.
Well, if he's basing it off of a globe that's been smushed into a 2D image, then I would say anything that he concludes from that is probably going to be a bunch of horseshit.
I'd heard that the globe projection came from flat Earth measurements, so somewhere there must have been a flat Earth to roll it out into that shape. So I don't know.
Well,
Maybe there never was any flat Earth measurements in the first place.
Didn't one of the kings decree that nobody could depict a flat Earth, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah, every depiction had to be a globe.
I wonder why.
Yeah,
isn't that what projection means?
Yeah, they're projecting.
Yeah.
Projecting and protecting. You send people in the opposite direction.
Yeah, but if you had a flat Earth to project, then somewhere that must have existed.
Look, guys, I'm sorry when you go outside, it's not a globe. But when you come back and turn on your TV and your computer, you're like...
Everyone knows this globe.
Yeah, you can turn on your TV and it's a globe all of a sudden.
I was just inquiring about the sun for everybody. I mean, whatever the situation.
What does that have to do with the shape of the Earth?
Well, not since they did, I mean, everybody looks at the sky to try and say what the shape of the Earth is. We know that.
No,
Just
only
trying to wonder
corporations
about
that
these
dipshit
sun
shit.
circles themselves.
Only globe earthers do that stupid shit. Hey, let's see if the Earth is curved. Where should we look? Away from the Earth. Far away.
Don't you do that? I thought you did that as well.
No, I looked at the
I
surface.
thought you measured angles to Polaris.
No, I don't do that.
Oh, you don't know. But flat earthers do. I mean, maybe you don't agree with those flat earthers either who say that. Same as this guy with the opposing rotations of the sun. There's a lot of ideas out there. That's how latitude was. You get your latitudes. So, it starts to. If you're looking at the sky to tell the shape of the Earth, and then you've got latitude, it's starting to make it a bit more concrete. This sky observation.
That's a shady inference. Because the sky's doing this, so therefore the ground is doing that. And look, Terry posted more cartoons for you guys to see globes.
All right. I mean, so you don't believe in the angles of Polaris latitude assertion
I
then?
don't believe in it. What's the assertion?
Made circles earlier, though. The problem is that north, south, east, and west are perpendicular. It's what we tried to tell Jaren a bit ago, quite a long time ago, actually. Tried to tell Nathan Oakley as well. That if you generate east-west circles, then you can't really have north, south, east, and west being perpendicular. Because if you do, then any bearing from north that you take will be an angle to a curve, wouldn't it?
I tried to tell you that.
There's a problem with generating east-west circles, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, when you want to obtain an angle,
Sounds like you guys are like thirsty to have this argument with like QE and them, but
nah,
you can't ever get your
they
argument
don't
out.
want it. They don't want it.
You come here where it's free speech and you force arguments on people that don't identify with the AE maps. Like,
at least there is a bit of free speech rather than where you usually hang out, where these questions can't even be posed.
well, if you were to go where I normally hang out and I was there, you'd probably get a decent conversation late at night.
No, you're gonna get banned, muted all the time. That's what's happened. That's why I'm banned from there for asking those questions.
Well, you're
I
free
can
to
relate. McToon banned me when his own mod agreed with me.
Yeah,
right
I'm
after
banned from
his own
McToons
mod,
as
he
well.
banned me.
Yeah, banned from McToons as well.
Oh yeah, right after his own mod agreed with me, he's like, all right, and then he banned me.
I got banned for sticking up for you guys and the guy who was putting Flurf Wiki together. But I don't suppose any of you guys were over there doing that.
I've got a room over there in McToons where he shames me into wanting me to be one of you guys.
Wow, he should apologize.
For God's sake, keep away with you guys. Always you guys.
Yeah.
What kind of victimhood stance is that?
Well, it's obvious. I'm not with Nathan Oakley. I think I don't agree with the flat earthers that try and show counter-rotational suns either. I mean, that's why I'm showing you guys. You guys. Like these people in this room. You guys.
Yeah, but why are you showing us that shit? Because some flat earther was
Because you
using
didn't seem to
something.
know about it.
I don't
It's
care.
just pointing out for you. It's going to make you start looking a bit silly if people start talking about this.
I'm
stuff
gonna look
as if it's
silly.
factual.
I'm gonna look
flat
silly
earth.
because a guy's using a map that he thinks has concreteness in reality, and then that's a map that I dropped in 2016.
Well,
How's it
what's
gonna make me
happened?
look silly if I dropped it almost a decade ago?
Jaren has flipped, right? And he doesn't trust flat earthers now because of things like this.
Well, flat earthers shouldn't trust him either after he learned the Geneva definition of genocide and said that he was okay with it as long as there wasn't bodies in the street. So anybody who listens to Jaren after that, he also got dropped in 2016 by me.
Come on, there was somebody in here yesterday asking, should murder be legal? People talk about all sorts of shit, don't they?
Yeah, but I don't like people that are okay with war crimes.
Or lying to children. I ask people if they're okay with PBS or Nat Geo keeping their videos up, and if they're okay with lying to children, I try not to engage with those people. It's a waste of time.
Well, it doesn't change the direction the sun's going, does it?
Just to make sure, Globe Earther, all the sun, moon, and stars, they always go east to west, right?
Who are you talking to?
You.
I'm
Sun,
not
moon,
Globe Earth. What are you
stars.
talking about?
Okay, I don't know your name. I'm sure your dad called you son, right? So whatever your name is, doesn't matter. Funny. Just curious. Sun, moon,
Hi, Daddy.
stars go east to. No, I'm not saying like that in a fatherly way.
You want to be my Flurf Daddy? Is that what you're after? Is that how you recruit people?
No.
Every guy calls himself Flurf Daddy. I think that's probably what his thing is. But anyway.
No, I was trying to be funny. I wasn't trying to put you in a father-son relationship.
Well, still doesn't alter the rotation of the sun for you, does it?
Right, so
Or
they don't spin
circuit.
counterclockwise. The sun, moon, and stars go once every 24 hours, roughly, east to west, right?
In
I
a circle.
just realized there's a bunch of globe earthers out there that say that the stars in the southern hemisphere rotate in the opposite direction. You guys know globers say that all the time, making you guys look fucking stupid.
Well, I've seen that. I've actually done it, and they go
Larry,
clockwise.
Larry, what do you think of this? Here, I'm going to post it. Can you see the live stream text if I post it real quick?
Yeah, I'm looking.
All right, so I think actually Matthew Learns had posted this, and I just grabbed it because so how when you're looking, like let's say that's looking south or looking at one of these, what do you think of that kind of idea? Is that when they're actually making that rotation, technically there are west to east and east to west, just because of the way the rotation goes, like at that rotational center or closer to it.
This is only due to perspective. The stars below the northern point, they are actually going east to west. If you were in Siberia and it was nighttime, you would be able to tell that they're going east to west, even though they appear to be going in the opposite direction. It's only an apparent rotation west to east.
Geo said they go in a straight line over the equator of the sun.
Did that make
You
sense
think that's
to you?
how the Space Busters got the sun to go in counter-rotational?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was responding to Larry. Go ahead, Bev.
Did you
Well, I was
see
gonna
the
post
Space
this.
Busters video?
This is roughly what they look like at the equator. Yeah, they're straight at the center, and then there's diverging and converging.
Yeah, I've seen that.
The arc and anti-arc. That
Oh,
go
that's
on
my
north and
favorite.
south.
Say it again. Say it again. Diverging.
Diverging away from the center due to perspective, right?
So is it like when your
So
mouth
Larry,
goes
when you
up
say
to the
perspective though, like so, yeah, what do you mean exactly? So I hear what you're saying. Like, yeah, I'm not really either claiming that the stars are actually going in the opposite direction either. So I hear what you're saying, but I'm trying to also understand more what you mean. So, because the thing about that rotational center, as it were, is that it moves in relation to the ground as you go north and south, meaning it kind of like rises, just kind of like Polaris does too. You know, as you get closer and further to it, it gets higher and lower. So as you go south, so how is perspective working where the relationship of the ground and the sky are sort of separate? Like if it was perspective, wouldn't it be kind of even all around you? How is it that it's like linked to your actual positioning as to how much of that rotation? Like, do you think, you know, if that rotation is not like an actual rotation, and if it is just only something caused by perspective that's apparent, if that's what you were saying, if I'm trying to steal
Yeah,
man.
it's going to be caused by perspective, because if you were to go south, let's say from Ecuador to like Brazil or something like that, like southern Brazil, then the stars that were curving off to the left as you look towards the west, they would be now a little more straighter overhead due to perspective. They'd be appearing to curve less. Like if you think about like a chemtrail, or for
The
you
other
Globers
ones
out there,
don't go in the other rotation though, do they? I mean, I've seen that. I've got a split picture from where I am. Right? I mean, it's low, but you can definitely see the split. But the other ones don't go in the opposite rotation. They go.
Have you seen the M/contrails, Larry? Tell us more about them.
All right, so the contrails, the ones that last for hours and eventually turn into clouds. Some people think that's cloud seeding. Don't look up chemtrails on Wikipedia. The cloud seeding, when it happens, the cloud seed might be right over your head, right? He flew right overhead, but the sun is over to your left, so the shadow is going to be somewhere off over to the right. So it's due to like the perspective of where you are, what these heavenly objects are going to appear to be doing.
Do you agree, Larry? Do you agree that like the one I just posted there? I know that's just kind of a Bislin, one of the Bislin models. However, this is this Bislin layout. It is using stellarium data, and you know, if we just call that the celestial sphere, meaning however they claim, whether they want to claim there's theoretical stars under your feet if you were on an actual globe, versus just being on a planar surface. Either way, you're just seeing that 180-degree hemisphere there. So that's why this it's using stellarium data. So do you agree that it seems to be like I'm not trying to say the map underneath it is the correct map or anything like that, but just that we kind of have this 180-degree, and then that these things move through. Like in this way right here, where like you have the sphere where it's 50-50, that one I posted, where then you would have the rotation in the north and in the south. Like it would be all one rotation though. Like when you animate that thing, it's the sphere, the whole thing it's one rotation, but it has that clockwise and counterclockwise, both north and south.
Yeah, it's like it deviates from the center and arcs off in like a circular. But when you're moving around, like each heavenly thing kind of like it straightens up and follows you. But the further south or the further north you look, it's going to be appearing to be arcing, right? Like in the one that let's see, yeah, the second post, the second picture that you posted at the equator.
So how wide is this fence you're sitting on, Larry?
So
you're now talking about things earlier you said weren't within your purview. Must be a pretty wide fence you're
So I'll try to explain it to you. My point of view.
That one there is, just real quick, that's Punta Arenas, by the way, roughly Punta Arenas. And the arc angle is on the southeast, southwest, and that is what they observed when they were there. But yeah, and then that's getting closer to that 24-hour sun effect.
Yeah, Larry doesn't want to talk about those observations.
No, I interrupted him just because I was going to post these, and then just lastly.
I know, but he doesn't want to.
This is the one.
Believe
no,
that, so.
I did interrupt. Hold on, man. I did interrupt. That one is supposed to be the 80 degrees south, which matches what they saw at Union Glacier. Turn to the 24-hour sun. So you go a little further south than Punta Arenas. There it is, 24-hour sun in the south in terms of the geometry of it. But Larry, go ahead. Let's give the mic to Larry. Sorry, I interrupted.
I was just pointing out Larry said he didn't believe that. So
no, dude, hold on. Bro, we don't want to mute anyone. Please don't. Just let him go because I interrupted. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, so if somebody were to bring up like a hot topic like Israel and Gaza, right? Is it okay with everybody if I just go, yeah, instead of picking sides, like how about I just make like a simple statement like I don't like war crimes, I don't like war criminals, and I think they should be tried. That way you can like wonder like all day and night, like Larry's for this side or that side. Well, I've never been Republican or Democrat. Like I don't have to pick sides on every single thing. So
Yeah,
some
you,
guys
you
went
did say you
to.
didn't believe it, though.
Yeah, I don't have to believe in anything. If I'm without
Okay, I'm just
knowledge,
pointing out to Geo there's no point talking about that because you don't believe in it. Same as the one in the north. You don't believe that either.
I just accept what people are saying and then choose whether or not to believe it, or choose not to take a side and just keep centered. That way I can take in all information without getting emotional. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I don't know. Like that sounded like probably Strawman that he was doing. I don't know because maybe I wasn't listening to the earlier combo. But
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't have an opinion on whether there's a 24-hour sun or not in Antarctica. I don't have an opinion. I don't care.
This picture here. What do you think of this picture?
I'm
This
indifferent. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, sorry.
I'm indifferent.
I was just going through my thing. This one shows the sun in the south at Union Glacier. It's not really the best shot of the sun. It's kind of like a little bit warped, but sorry. No, just keep going. I was just kind of like posting a few things since we're talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's reality, cool. If it's not, I don't care. It doesn't affect me.
That's one that I grabbed. I think that was at like one of those marathons. It says what it is right there. Actually, the Caroline Gleiches. Yeah, she's done a bunch of these.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, sorry about that.